I got to really so I know you can quit fast. Once you from budget is to I mean,
It's for practice. I was like, no, it worked. That was.
So, but I mean, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a meeting. I'm gonna do. I would probably. She's not gonna get here next week. Yeah. The third, my brother. Oh, it's good. It's a 2-bedroom currently. It's gonna be a wall. Yeah, I'm sad. Serious, like, I don't know. You get access. But it's during it right now. It came out there's guns on Thursday. So I need to have 70s. Yeah. Down. But I mean, taking this start.
Yeah.
I'll have access. Give me up and like where's it located at?
So yeah, he's wanting.
Oh, that's usually yeah, under contract. No, it's actually pretty tall. Great, love it. Okay, I get two things. Except they're gonna spot up. Yeah.
Anybody else for Swanson?
We are. Good, how are you?
How are you? Hi guys.
Well,
Quick, put your wants and needs on the board as we're running through the first part of announcement. Welcome to team meeting. Hopefully we've got some people running late that are on their way.
Yeah, we always looking for.
They're changing their clothes from the cold stuff this morning to the warm stuff this afternoon.
Yeah, I know the party line.
Because they don't boot season. Flannel season. Guys.
Let's have some bucket fills. Bucket fill. Who has a bucket to fill? I fill buckets every week, so I'm gonna need someone else to come up with a bucket.
Rusty is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
How about that? There's lots of things that you
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, also,
Bailey brought cookies tonight last night. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, she did. And I wasn't even in Ignite, but I saw the plate of cookies and I said, I'm taking one of those when I leave.
No, they're not store bought.
And she really leveled up the Ignite. She had her own worksheet and that she brought in, she really took that class and made it hers and leveled up.
Love it. We're gonna talk about Ignite, but I do want to give bucket fills to everybody who's taught Ignite so far and who's on the schedule coming up to teach Ignite, because it does make a big difference if you are showing up at a high level. Anyone else?
I'll fill Christy's bucket since she's up front.
Thank you.
Just, you and I had an opportunity to catch coffee about a week and a half ago, that this was, I guess it filled my bucket. This meant you talk business and life in general, so you're awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you for being concerned about winter.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sean.
I'd like to fill Quincy's bucket. She knocked the infamous Jed Edwards out of the two-way tie. And football.
Listen, I just need to say that I've played fantasy football with Sean for like 5 years now, and this is the first time he's been at the top of the leaderboard. And I have nothing else. For the last 2 days. Yesterday, he walks in my office and he's like, "Do you got a minute?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he sits down and pulls out his phone and starts telling me how many points he has.
This is
Rude.
the first time I've been decent.
This is the first time. Usually he's at the very bottom, so we're gonna let him have that. I'll fill Sean's book. He picked a good team. All right. Coming up in our market center today, we have from 1:30 to 2:30 tech bar with Bradley. I know you guys have tech questions. I know you have things you need help with. So what I cannot for the life of me figure out is why that room doesn't have a line out of it waiting for people to talk to Bradley. Like, it should be a big deal. So come to tech training today, 1:30 to 2:30 tomorrow. We have conversation mastery tomorrow and Thursday. You're going to see that repeated again on here somewhere, 9:30 to 10. Oh my gosh, Sean and I had the best conversation mastery today. Didn't we?
Yeah.
We crushed it. We were so good. Our scripts were on fire. Here's the thing though, like probably Sean and I weren't the ones that needed to practice the scripts the most. Just saying, maybe come. You are wondering
What's
what
the reason? What's the reason people aren't coming to that?
for me, it's making time to do it.
9:30 to 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't work with the schedule.
What time would? No, I'm still asking, like, what time would? Yeah, because we aren't helped at that time. We moved a meeting to make it be at that
Yeah.
time.
We were rearrange our lives because you guys said 9:30 to 10 is the perfect time.
So we're open.
I
to
mean,
change-
it is the first time I've something time for it.
We're open, what I'm saying though is we're open to changing it to make it work for you guys, so reach out to one of us if you.
Suggestion. Tomorrow, we have,
Tony was there last week. Was it helpful?
It's helpful, yes.
So you guys, why aren't you showing up? Let's show up. You're not practicing with us here, you're practicing on your client. You don't want to do that.
or worse, even worse than you're practicing on your clients, is you don't have confidence, so you're just not
You're not
having
making
conversations.
Yeah.
And I fear that that's actually what's happening. So I'm just here to help, just trying to have you have this little business called real estate, whatever. Tomorrow from 2:30 to 4, Bites and Insights is building a killer CMA. We have had a lot of questions about pricing and how do you adjust and do things differently as the market shifts and things are happening there. So if you guys, I think most of you know Troy Callentine, but if you don't, Troy has been in business for a very long time, and Troy does probably one of the most, like, sometimes I'm just like, Troy, you're spending so much time on the CMA, but because he really goes into deep depth on it. So tomorrow we're going to share some best practices on building a killer CMA, how we adjust it based on the market, based on a busy road, based on things like that. We're going to actually walk through a CMA together in addition to sharing best practices. So that's tomorrow from 2:30 to 4:30, Bites and Insights. And then from 5 to 8 is Ignite tomorrow. And then Thursday, we have Conversation Mastery again. Thursday from 11 to 12, we have using direct mailers in command. This is on Zoom only. Zoom only. So you can zoom in your PJs if you want to, party time. And then Thursday from 5 to 8 is Ignite again. We already talked about this. Ignite, please scan the registration code. Fun fact, do you have to be a new agent to attend Ignite? Who can answer the question? No. Do you have to attend all 10, 15, whatever classes there to attend Ignite? 12.
We pared it down
No.
to 12.
You don't. So even if you just wanted to see what the content is, scan the QR code. Come to the
We've
class.
also switched it up, so there's real accountability, there's lead generation happening in Ignite, we've switched it up. So that the people leaving Ignite will have transactions.
Diana, who is the new agent, came to Ignite, and on day 2, she made the calls, like some people are scared to make, but she started making calls, and she got not 1, not 2, but 3 appointments. In 30 minutes of calls, 3 appointments.
I think every
3.
Ignite, correct me if I'm wrong, but every Ignite somebody set an appointment, right, Bradley? In the lead,
There's an appointment being set
single night,
every single
yeah.
day. So even if you just want to get some appointments, come for the first hour. Insights, please scan if you're going to attend. Anybody getting their little phones out?
I don't know.
You didn't probably say.
Why are you pointing at me out? You can just say, maybe people have, or maybe they.
Oh, you said, you first said, I don't know if I signed up, but I said, I don't think you did, sorry. Okay, did we get it? Okay, this, I would like to tell you guys, is seriously a phenomenal book. It's called The Rookie Real Estate Agent, but I just want you to think if you need help with these things as I go pick through these, because it says in these pages, you're going to learn how to adopt the mindset needed for success and start with confidence, cut through the jargon to master fundamentals, build a 6-figure business plan and manage finances, lead generate to connect with motivated buyers and sellers, deliver high value service to clients, navigate from agreement to contract to close and getting paid, and then work your database for predictable future income. Is there anybody in the room, even if you're not a rookie, that thinks that they could use a little help with these things? Okay, so we're gonna do a book club. Every Friday, Allison and Carrie Butler and I do a class at 10 a.m. every Friday called The Rookie Real Estate Agent. What it is though, is it's just beyond rookies. And we decided for the next 8 weeks to focus on this book specifically because it has so much good information in it.
Like, how many times have you said, like, if I could go back and start over, this is what I would do different?
Guess what? It's your chance. Anytime that there's always opportunity in the market to change, right? Like we're not a tree. We can move, we can change our strategies, we can do things different. And so even if you just get one little takeaway, it's 45 minutes on Friday morning from 10 to 10:45. This will set you up. This will give you the Zoom link, and it's the same Zoom link every week. This coming Friday, the 26th, is who has been attending AI Shoney or Shoney's AI trainings? Okay, this one is going to be a hot one, lead generation in the age of AI, a smarter way to fill your pipeline. Please make sure you register. If you can't attend, but you still register and you zoom in for any part of the class. So like I have somebody who's like, I'm going to be out of town. If you just click in and zoom in, they'll take your attendance and then they will send you the materials and the recordings, but they're not going to unless you're registered. This is one of the most common things that we get is like, our pipeline's empty. How do we refill the pipeline? If you could do it smarter and easier, why would we not? Right? So come to that one. Shoney breaks them down pretty good into bite-sized pieces. And then this is coming up. This is pretty cool. So Cody Gibson, if you guys don't know who Cody Gibson is, he is the VP of MAPS coaching. Marcus, do you have anything you want to say about Cody?
Yeah, thing I like about Cody is he just consistently brings energy and his scripts are incredible. He's always forward thinking, tackling the issues as they come up. The fact that we get him coming to Utah to spend a day with us in person is pretty phenomenal. I'm excited to go spend the day with him.
Yeah. This is going to be good. There is a playbook that's going to be included and it's from 9 to noon. It does include lunch. So please plan on attending that if you want to. I think that there's a lot of great opportunities and I'm not seeing a lot of people take advantage of them. This is one of the ones where I feel like you're going to have some serious FOMO if you're not in the room. And this is a national plus like instructors are going to every region. We are lucky enough that we got Cody and he is phenomenal. So he's going to be there. It's at Salt Lake Community College in Sandy. You do need to register in advance. It is $25 Gordon gets really stressed. It's on October 23rd. He gets really stressed about the lunch count. So I think that if this does not sell out prior to like probably the 10th of October, registration will be cut off because he likes to have lunch ordered it well in advance. So make sure you register for that. If you're planning to go to family reunion and you haven't got your ticket yet and you want to be on a payment plan, talk to Chris. He will put you on a payment plan that will split that over 3 payments. And we don't even charge interest like your credit card would, but we do not give you any Sky Miles. So just, I mean, weigh your options there, whatever you want to do. Those of you that are participating in the trunk or treat, hopefully you're seeing Vincey's emails that are coming out with updates about this. Head count is due by the 10th of October. Do we need to say anything about this trunk or treat?
Come have fun. Like, we're super excited. It's gonna be super easy. If you need help on picking like what theme you want to do, just let us know. We'll play and match you. Have fun with it. They'll ask me to pick, and I told them Barbie. So we're gonna pick his Barbie trunk and she'll get that decorated.
And Barbie Corvette specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna bring your whole collection?
Yeah, the whole thing. Even some of the, like, we already took a Barbie.
Oh, Barbie's off. Okay, Spice Girls, sorry.
Oh.
I actually saw a really fun Spice Girls, like the spike, like in your cabinet.
Let's do a Spice Girls one year for Christmas or for Halloween. Probably not for Christmas. That'd be weird.
I mean,
But for Halloween.
maybe for Christmas too, but probably.
So make sure you're getting your information out for your clients on this.
Who's all attending and doing that? And why are you not, if your hand is not raised?
People.
Yeah.
Like, you just said this trunk, and with us, we're providing the candy, so you just get to have fun with your trunk, focus on that. And I can help you through social media of how to like build the excitement for your event, but this is such an easy way to connect with your client. And I just wrote down I went through all my texts and I have a whole page of people that I need to call. And guess what? Perfect reason is, hey, we're doing a trunk or treat event, who do you know? Or if it's like grandma, like they're just, I don't know.
And it's not about if they'll come or not, it's about
The
that
conversation. Yep.
Yeah.
About the invite. That's what's the most important piece. This is one of the most common questions that we get is like, I don't know what to say to my people. I've already called them last month and just checked in on. Now I need something else. This is a way you can just provide value. It's super affordable and inexpensive. If you want to participate, you could probably talk to Vincey. You could maybe sway her. She might be able to have her arm twisted, but you're going to have to be very purposeful with talking to people about coming. Okay.
And if you guys are too shy, because I did directly call you out, just text me or call me later.
The next AI one that's coming up is double the value with AI. So build your portfolio and attract more investor clients. October 24th. That's my mom's birthday, guys. Cute. Wants and needs. If anybody else needs to write one up here, I'm going to give you while we're talking to get up here and write them on the board. I did have a massive price drop in my Clinton property. It is $565 now. Seller is motivated and they're not shy about me telling you that they're motivated. So if you guys are looking for, it's a great property. It's got over 100 feet of RV parking. It's 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath on a 3rd acre lot in Clinton. And then North Ogden townhouse should be going live. I think their flooring was a little delayed, but it should be going live hopefully by the end of this week, first of next. And that one will be definitely under 300, probably under 280, and it is owner occupied only. So just FYI on that one. Donna.
I'm so excited.
So
We
excited.
finally
Yay.
settled with the neighbor. We have very clear property lines.
Yay.
We're going to go live this weekend up at the top of Tollgate Canyon with incredible views of Park City Mountain and Canyons promontory. You have just like a huge 180 from the deck of views. We're listing it actually below what the county values it at.
Oh, wow.
At 1.150 million. And it'll be live this weekend.
Nice. Okay, good listing. Christy.
Yeah, so we just had a price reduction on Huntsville. We're now at $925. 6-bed, 3-bath, 0.75 acre horse property. It's 3 minutes from Cemetery Point, by View. Great views of Small Basin. Clinton is 550. Another one of horse property, 0.95 acres, 4-bed, 3-bath, Rambler. Also has a swim spa and foam building in the back of the development or property. And then short sell in West Haven, 525. That's one where full transparency your buyer has to bring 12,000 closing cash to close for the lien on that property.
Is that above the 525? Or is that included in the 525?
So they can offer 525, then yeah, bring in there.
And bring it up.
Okay, and was built in 2021, so the home is in, it's great property, and it was appraised at 563, so.
So you're walking in,
You're
you're
walking in.
instant equity.
To the upstairs. Yeah, it's a two-story. Unfinished basement, so again, good retention.
And then Key Utah Realtors, sorry guys. Key Utah Realtors.
Manhattanville one up in, wow.
Yeah.
Spell,
Okay.
yes. We are overpriced. I have had the conversation. He knows that when this review, he's waiting for the right buyer to come in.
What I'm hearing you say is just bring buyers. It's a bring your own price.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
I like it.
yeah. 3 bed, 2 bath. The house is, it's a house, like it's nothing fancy. The land is amazing, and then it has a big ass barn, which is really cool. So.
Very good.
Don't think sell it for the wife.
Yeah,
Do it for the wife, guys. Happy wife, happy life. Let this guy get back to a happy life.
no.
He doesn't deserve one, but let his wife at least be happy. Anybody else wants or needs, even if you didn't put them on the board, and is there any online in the chat, Bradley? It looks like there's a few chats.
That has a new one in Washington Terrace, 4 bed, 2 bath. It's gonna be 400 tomorrow. And it's got a 2.9 interest rate assumption.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I have two. I have one in Brigham City, section, 585.
well,
It's so cute.
I saw your pictures. That's nice.
2333 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, immaculate and garage. And then the second one's in Daybreak, it's a townhome, and it's super cute too, and ready to go, and probably a little bit of movement on that one, like price wise, you might be able to, getting maybe just reduce that for 45.
Awesome. Justin, did you raise your hand? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Did I see your hand face? It's not. Okay, everybody satisfied with their wants and needs?
Just got my number.
Sandy's got, or needs a property with equal bedrooms and bath between 400 and 420, under 45 minutes from Salt Lake, but north, so Weaver, Davis.
Just equal numbers of beds and bath, nothing specific as far as like 3 bed, 3 bath?
Yeah, I asked her what her minimum is, but I heard that.
Okay. Cause there is a townhouse in Layton that I saw that's a 2 and 2, that's rentable too. Which would be within 45 minutes. Ashley,
I need for some buyers, property in David County, preferably single family, but they're open to townhome, 350, 3 bed, 2 bath.
oh, we all need that.
Yeah.
You.
Like, what kind of condition?
It has to be Taj Mahal.
Yeah. We're asking for you. We're asking for you.
Hey, don't ask for it.
Yeah, you're never gonna get it. If you don't put it out there, you're never gonna find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bradley, did your hand raise?
Sandy needs 3 bed, 3 bath.
3 bed, 3 bath, under 450. Okay, awesome. Anyone else?
Rusty,
Kenneth,
I need renters. I have 2 rental properties in the northern part of Ogden,
okay,
3 bedroom, 2 baths. Around 1,400 square feet. Probably about 2,500, 2,600 a month, including utilities, internet, and alarm system. It'll be ready probably for November.
Okay.
They'll both be ready for November.
awesome.
I need a rental in Murray. Anybody got that?
I don't. I wish I did. Okay, anybody else? Going once,
I have
twice.
a condo in Murray that you can take an offer on.
How much is it?
260.
Talk to me later.
Hey, make sure that you're making all your calls in a TCPA friendly and compliant way, because you work way too hard for your money to give it away in silly frivolous lawsuits. So just don't call people that are on a do not call list. And then the one and only.
How was everyone today? Good. I'm excited. I get to spend a little bit of time with you guys. In fact, I can spend 1 hour and 9 minutes with you guys, but who's counting? Bradley reached out to me a couple weeks ago and talked to me about coming to spend some time with you guys today, and asked what can we talk about? And as I thought about it a little bit, I've been thinking a lot about specific traits that I think are relevant in winning in the real estate game. And I think generally speaking, we come up with a list of things of great communication skills, great negotiating skills, which we're going to talk about some of those things. But it made me think about this sentence here, gifted versus gritted. And I think we're at a really interesting era of the real estate space because I feel like really up, maybe we've been in it for a couple of years now, but before that, the wind was at our back. Which in an era when the wind is at your back, and at the time we might not have thought it was easy, but looking back at it, our being in real estate was pretty easy there for a minute. Buyers were lined up, there were plenty of properties, prices were good, interest rates were good. It's like if you were making an effort, you could make it in this game. And that's changed a little bit now. I see a lot of great agents that are making an effort and it's not yielding the same result. And what I don't think it is I don't think you can root it back to like, oh, this person must not be talented because they're not hitting their goals. But what I can root it back to is this idea of, do they have grit? And they're really different things. And I want to talk through that a little bit today. So what's more important in real estate success from your guys' perspective? And I'd really like a little bit of feedback with this. Do you think it really comes back to talent? Are your clients hiring you because of talent or effort?
Effort.
Why?
You can be the best damn agent, but if you're not out there having a conversation.
Yeah, which one comes first?
Effort.
Like going through real estate school, 120 hours, do you walk out of real estate school because you can pass a test and it makes you a great real estate agent? What makes you a great real estate agent? Okay, a lot of it's going through the experience. You have to be in the trenches and you're learning through every transaction, right? That's the track record you get. But until you've done that you're really not improving your skill. You're not getting better. So what are the things that have to happen before that generate that opportunity to do it? So we're going to talk about effort, but more important than effort. And I thought about this a little bit. It's not just effort, because I think a lot of people right now are working hard. A lot of us leave our houses early in the morning. A lot of us have a lot of things on our to-do list. At the end of the day, we feel like, man, I spent a lot of time working today. So the effort is there, but it's still not yielding the result. So are we giving effort to the right things? And are we choosing the right things to get our effort? And this is to me where the idea of grit comes in, which we'll talk a little bit about. A lot of the concepts that I'm going to share with you today come from a book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. Has anyone read that book? Okay, I'm going to share some of the things from that. I thought it was a really, we talk about grit, we talk about working hard, we talk about pushing through, we talk about reaching new limits. But the thing I like about this book is it kind of builds some structure around like, what is grit really? It's not just something that we talk about, but what is it? How does it show up in our world? So let's look at this a little bit. Before I want to walk through a couple things before we talk about what grit is. And more importantly, what I want to talk about is like, all right, we understand, we're all in agreement on what grit is, but let's now apply it to the day-to-day of a real estate agent. I want to like actually say, where does grit show up versus talent show up in your day-to-day activities? But before we get in there, I want to talk about two things. One is I want to talk about what you guys perceive to be the reality of the market. And then I want to shift that to like what the consumer is actually looking for. And then we're going to overlap that with where do you show up with your current skill level and talent? And then how do you put that on fire with a little extra grit right now? So if you guys, I want to open this up to you guys for a little bit. How would you define the reality of the market? So this isn't, I'm not looking for the answer of one of your clients saying, hey, how's the real estate market? I want to know from you guys in the trenches, playing the game on a day-to-day basis, what is the reality of the real estate market as it sits today? Slow. Okay, it's slow. What makes it slow?
Affordability and uncertainty.
Okay, there's some uncertainty there. I heard you say affordability. Flush that out a little bit.
Homes were expensive, then rates went up, which made payments expensive. The value of the dollar went down, and Americans, what you spend to operate your household has never been higher. So it's tight from all angles.
Okay, and I like that you pulled in affordability outside of the cost of the home too.
100%.
Because we talk a lot about affordability as it pertains to the cost of the home and interest rates. but there's a whole other piece of their personal economy that's affecting that too, right? So what else? What else would you add to that? Yes,
Uncertain.
okay, uncertainty with the market, uncertainty in the economy,
Tariffs,
all of it. Just seems like we could make a list of a lot of things. Like if we said, what are all the things that fall under the category of uncertain? We could come up with a long list of things, right? Politics, period. I like that. All these things, yes.
And amidst all these
Okay.
other issues we have, I feel like we definitely have a balanced market. It may be moving slower than what we like, but it's.
So I think this is an interesting point because we say the market's slow, but like if I went outside and if we went out and everyone lined up and we said, let's have a 40-yard dash race. There's people in here that would beat me, and there's probably some people in the room that I would beat. So who's fast and who's slow? It's relative because we're all slow compared to Usain Bolt. But I may be faster than somebody, you know, on their deathbed. I hope I can beat that person, right? But the idea is we say the market's slow, but the idea is it's slow compared to what? So a balanced market, is it changing some perspective there? I think there's some of that going on too. So I think let's break this down a little bit to say today's real estate market is complex. Would we all agree with that? Complex issues deserve what? Complex solutions. Okay. So 120 hours of real estate school to pass the test, does that enable you to solve complex problems? You don't know how to resolve complex issues. If I had to go dig a hole in the parking lot 20 feet deep and 10 feet wide, could I do it? Is there an easy way to do it? And is there a hard way to do it?
Yes.
What's an easy way to do it? If I had a big old traco, I could do it in a few minutes, right? But if I didn't have the traco and I didn't have the experience of how to run it, but there's a shovel there, could I still get it done? Eventually, but I can still get it done, right? And so the point I'm making with a lot of this is the market is complex. I'm gonna give you an equation here in a minute of what is the equation of you being the unique solution to a complex problem. And some of it will be you're just naturally talented to set up for success, but that's not enough to close the gap in all situations. The question is do you have it inside of you to apply grit on top of that talent? Someone with a lower level of skill and talent, it's going to take more grit. Someone that has the experience and has more talent, it might take a little less grit, but it's still grit. And I feel like the economy we lived in, and frankly, I'm a little bit worried about the next generation. I'm trying to teach my kids grit in general, because when things are easy, you don't build grit. Grit is not something that all of a sudden appears magically. It's you have to develop it. So in relation to your real estate business, does it exist and how do you develop it? We're going to talk a little bit about that. In this kind of market, does natural talent thrive? No. In the market that was, did natural talent thrive? It did. It did. I've already seen a handful of really phenomenally talented agents in an easy market decide this is not for them. I've been sitting across the table from an agent that you thought was crushing it and making so much money. They had a career forever in front of them say, I think I'm quitting. I think I'm out. It surprises me. It's because they were leaning purely on natural ability and talent and not infusing and building the skill set of grit behind it. So before we get into a deeper conversation on grit, I just want to touch real briefly on what are the most important qualities that consumers are looking for right now. And this is from a survey with buyers and sellers that have actually hired agents. We're not going to go in depth on these. The reason I want to point these out is as we get into the conversation around grit, what I want to do is reference back to this list and say things, for example, like knowledge of the local market. Yeah, your clients expect you to have a knowledge of the market, but with your current knowledge of the market, how much of that is coming from just natural ability of being in the business? But how much of a gap is there of what you must know because you're not applying grit to that principle? And more importantly, the other thing I looked at this is, like, let's just use these four. There's another page of these, but I want to use these four first. Think about trustworthiness and honesty, knowledge of the local market, strong communication skills, proven track record. For me to show a client any of these 4 things, what has to have already happened? They already would have had to hire me and let me do the job they hired me for, so they could say, oh, because you're doing these things, I see that you're trustworthy and honest. Because you're doing these things and taking me through this, I see that you have knowledge of the market. Because you're doing these things, I'm appreciating your communication skills. Well, these are the things they want in the back end of a transaction. But if we never get to the transaction with them, do we get to show them that we know how to do those things? And here's the argument I want to make is the number of transactions is less. The number of agents has stayed relatively high. Competition per transaction is a lot higher, which means the work that we need to do before the transaction is a lot more important. It's a lot more important. Realistically, right now, I don't want to spend a lot of time saying, Dalton, let's make your listing presentation better. Hey, Dalton, let's improve. These are things that have to happen. But if we don't get better at the things up front, using grit and talent, I can show a client before they hire me that I'm trustworthy and honest. How would I do that? Before they hire me, how would I show someone I'm trustworthy and honest?
That's for news.
Okay, testimonial. I think that's a great way for me to say, hey, here's what other people are saying. What's a way that I can convince them based on their experience that I'm trustworthy and honest?
Do what you say you're gonna do.
Okay, this is a big one for me. Like anytime that I'm meeting with anybody, first time I ever meet with them, I always make sure I'm going to commit to something. Something as simple as, oh, you know, I read an article yesterday that said this. You know, I'm going to send it to you by the end of the day. By sending them that article by the end of the day, what did I just do with them? I showed them, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But there's a risk to this, because if I don't send them that article by the end of the day, and even if I send it the next day and say, oh, sorry, I got busy yesterday, but here's the article, I still kind of did it, but not exactly how I said it to them. Okay. Knowledge of the local market. How would I show somebody? How would I prove this to somebody before I'm in the transaction with them? Okay, social media. If my face is constantly coming up on their social media saying, hey, here's what's going on in the market. Over time, they're gonna say, oh, you know what? I think they know what's going on in the market. That may be the trigger for them to hire you. Does it take, how many of you post regularly on social media? Does it take effort to come up with content? Does it take effort to post consistently? It's a pain and constant pain in my butt. I have to hire people that are constantly like yelling at me like, you have to post, you have to post, you have to post. Because it's just not, we get busy. It's the easy thing for me to say like, I'm not gonna do it today, okay? We're not gonna go through all of these because I wanted to give you a couple examples. Will you give me the clicker back? I want you thinking through these while we talk through the definition of grit. They want good negotiation skills. They want availability and personal attention. This is a big one. Marketability, referrals, and recommendations. So let's talk a little bit about what grit is. And I want you to think about it different than effort, because I really feel like all of us in this room, particularly, are making an effort. You made an effort to be in this room today. There's a lot of our agents that didn't even make the effort to be here. Okay. So you're already making some effort. That's gotta be it. But what's the difference between effort and actual grit? Like if you had to define grit, somebody that's gritty, what would you say that is? Going deeper?
Yeah, so like the effort is showing up here, but the grit would be like, what are the actionable items that we take from this? And
I love this. We're gonna talk about that. It's like being really purposeful with the effort.
I think grit is like doing it even if you don't want to. Like you're just you're doing it if you're like, it's the last thing I want to do today, and I know it's important, so I'm gonna push through.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I had a conversation with my kids. I got to spend a lot of time with my kids last week. We get onto all sorts of topics and things, and we talked about health and fitness. And one of the things they said to me is this, like, but Dad, you just love to work out. And the thing that surprised them is me telling them, like, guess what? Every day I have to convince myself, I'm like, do I want to do this? Like I tell you, when I it's a little embarrassing, but when I go pull into my MMA gym at the end of a long day of work, and I know I'm going in there to get punched in the face by these 20-year-old kids trying to get in the UFC, there's about a 30-second window out in the parking lot where I'm like, I could just drive home right now and nobody would know. And nobody would say it. In fact, my wife would be happy if I came home right now, right? And so it is this idea of saying, I know that on the other side of this, I want the result of it, but my brain is telling me this is hard and I should be doing other things. Okay, I love that answer. Yep.
I was gonna say that. I listen to a lot of podcasts with different motivational speakers.
Yep.
So one of them is like David Goggins.
Yep.
And then like snippets of some other people, what they say. So like Ronaldo, the soccer player, says, it sucks going to the gym, you know, like you explained. He's like, I don't love doing it, but you have to show up even, it's not based on feelings, it's not on motivation, because motivation is not gonna come every day. So that's the part when there's from you show up and it sucks, but you keep grinding.
And I think it's you consistently show up.
Right.
It's one thing to show up once.
Right.
Like, for example, if Allison was talking about coming to Ignite and the number of appointments, if you came to one Ignite and did the lead gen and said, well, I didn't set appointments. See, I told you, I'm out of here. Like, that's not grit. That's effort. And I want to applaud the effort. Grit is saying, why wasn't I the one that got the appointment? Where could I have done better? I'm going to be here tomorrow and do it again. Okay.
It's no matter what.
No matter what.
I'm gonna do this, no
So-
matter what.
So have you read how many of you read The One Thing? So in The One Thing, they talk about success list versus a to-do list. What is it about a success list that relates to this? Like, when I put together my success list, I am not done working today. I don't care what the clock says. I don't care what fires come up. My workday is not done until my success list is done, period. Like, and I'm just like you guys. I get texts and emails of things I was not expecting to deal with today. But at the end of the day if these things are not done, my workday is not done. That's grit. Okay, I like that. I saw another hand, Chris.
This just reminds me of a conversation I had with my sister about 10 days ago. She was talking about a thing that like a presentation she'd been to. Two really key points that stood out to me, and I just love, they keep going through my brain. Choose character over comfort, and choose execution over emotion. That Nelly reminded me of that, right? And I just think if you challenge yourself in those moments, to push yourself beyond what feels comfortable or easy in the moment, there's some version of grit that you demonstrate.
I think that word comfort is an interesting one right now. Because obviously we want to build a life by design. When we design a life, most of us are thinking like, what are the things I want? I want to be comfortable. It's okay to want to be comfortable, but it's not okay to choose comfort over your goals, over what you want to accomplish. It's interesting. I read an article this morning about Louis the 15th. So this is Louis the 15th, which means there were 14 Louis before him that lived in Versailles. How many of you have seen Versailles? And he was the one that decided, like, you know what? I'm actually going to make the furniture inside here comfortable that people actually want to sit on. And so for 14 Louis generations, they had straight back wood chairs, no place for anyone else to sit. The bathrooms were in awkward positions. It's like, why are we living this way? Let's make it comfortable. But it was interesting. It made me think about comfort. There's a time for comfort, and there's a time to get uncomfortable. I would say right now, if you want a long career in real estate, right now is the time to force yourself to be uncomfortable. And what that will do is you will be extra comfortable when the market gets easier. But now is the time to make yourself uncomfortable. Great points. Did I see another hand before we move on? Let me give you the definition that Angela shared in her book, because we're going to break it down a little bit. She says grit is the combination of two things: passion and perseverance for long-term goals. So let's break these down a little bit. So let's talk about passion first. So there's, again, two pieces of this. Passion is what's your ongoing interest, curiosity, and staying power. The deep fascination that keeps you engaged with your work, even when the initial excitement fades. Remember when your first year or two in real estate, how exciting it was? Remember, like, you were putting CMAs together for fun. You didn't even have a chance to get that listing, but you were so excited about it. You were watching every episode of Property Brothers, right? We wanted to consume everything real estate. And then we started succeeding in real estate, dealing with some of the problems, and it was like, did our interest in it fade a little bit? A lot of us are still very interested in, I want to get to the closing table. I'm interested in making the money, but did we lose interest in what we actually were doing to generate the money? Is the passion still there? Then the second one is perseverance. And I do think a lot of us still have our passion. We just don't, I think we're failing a little bit on the other side of grit, which is perseverance, effort, resiliency, consistency. And I think where we're pulling our feet off the gas a little bit with perseverance is this element of frustration of, well, this used to work and it's not yielding the same result. And that's frustrating. So if it's not working, maybe you were applying grit to the same lever for a minute, but when you apply grit over and over and over again to a lever that doesn't work, at some point you're going to reach a breaking point. The trick with that is a gritty person will shift the effort onto a different lever where your brain will tell you this isn't working, retreat. And remember that your brain's number one function is to do what? Protect you. So your brain will say, because you're stronger than that part of your brain, you're gonna say, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. And at some point, that part of your brain will say, retreat. Instead of saying, hey, you gritty son of a gun, instead of pushing here, push over here a little bit. Try this a little bit. Try this a little bit. And perseverance is keep going, keep trying. Whatever it is, keep trying, and you will find the lever that works. So perseverance is effort, resilience, consistency, the determination to continue working towards your goals despite obstacles, failures, and plateaus. How many of you have confronted an obstacle this year? How many hands? I mean, I wish I had more hands to raise, right? How many of you have been faced with a failure this year? I wish I had more hands to raise. How many of you feel like you've plateaued? And this is true for your business, your hobbies, your personal life. Like anyone that's trying to achieve anything, because we are achievers. If you are an achiever, you will be faced with obstacles. If you are an achiever, you will be faced with more failures than anybody else. If you are an achiever, you're going to go through this cycle of, I feel like I'm going backwards. But that's what that is doing is the universe saying, okay, well, do you have the grit to still be the person? Do you have the grit to still be the person that's going to keep going? Are you going to be, using your term, the winner? Because all the losers, once they feel that, are going to retreat. And I will tell you, 90% of humans, particularly humans that were raised in a very comfortable environment, which all of us in this room, we've lived in a pretty good time. If you've been raised in that time in a comfort environment, your grit factor, unless you've purposely built it, is your brain is going to tell you to retreat. If any of us had gone through the Great Depression, grit was forced on you. If any of you lived through an era of war, grit was forced on you. My life, grit was not forced upon me. I've had to find ways to build grit, and the shelf life of grit is a lot shorter than you think. It's not you do something once and build grit and you say, now I'm a gritty person. It's you have to exercise that grit muscle over and over and over again, which we're going to talk about some ideas on how to do that. Enthusiasm is common. Endurance is rare. So how does this show up? Under gifted, talent-based. And by the way, I'm not saying anyone in this room is not talented, because you're some of the most talented people I know, but I want you to infuse that talent with some extra grit. So a talented person is a great natural communicator. A gritted person is going to be relentless in their follow-up. I was talking to one of my employees last week, and I was being really specific with them because we needed some hard data. Is tell me exactly what your communication looks like with these clients. Well, I've reached out to them, they never call me back. Now, when you say they never call me back, what does that tell me as the person holding them accountable? Never means multiple attempts were made. Like never. I've tried multiple times, never. Show me the call log. It was one call and one text. That's not never. That's not grit. That's letting your brain say, I tried. The universe is telling me that person doesn't want to work with me because I tried. Consistent follow-up is like, the statistics show how many times does it take in follow-up before you actually set an appointment? It's 9 times. Like, at what point do you become annoying? Right?
Times.
Nine times. Like, if you looked at my team's script, if we are reaching out to a colder lead by 7 or 8, the script is, hey, I know that I'm reaching out again, and probably you're thinking this is a little annoying, but if I'm willing to reach out to you this many times to connect with you and be your realtor of choice, imagine how hard I'm gonna work for you to find the right buyer for your home, for your seller. We start making a joke out of it on that back end of like, yeah, we're bugging you, but imagine how hard I'm gonna work for you if I'm willing to do this, okay? A talented person, it just ends up being great on stage. You know that person that just walks in a room and has like great charisma and you're like, man, that person just lights up a room when they walk in. Can they do it every day? No matter what, no matter how bad of a day they're having, maybe they're sick to their tum a little bit. Can they still show up every day? Gifted people are fast starters, like they get a lot of energy up front, but then also it's like, yeah, that's kind of boring, kind of done. As opposed to a gritted person is like, I don't care, I'm gonna win this race no matter what it takes. Like we're gonna get to the finish line. A gifted person has sharp instincts. A gritted person has sharp habits. Of like, it's not, I don't have to use my energy source to do this. It's my habits are gonna be the momentum behind what I'm doing. Okay. Gritted agents, these agents build sustainable practices that create lasting success through systematic approaches and unwavering commitment. And this to me is important because a lot of times we think of grit of just being like, work harder than anybody else. And I lived by that motto for a long time. My dad is the hardest working individual I've ever met in my life. And he raised us to this thing, we're gonna outwork. The Green Boys are gonna outwork anybody, anywhere. And it's been a huge part of my success. But as soon as I figured out that I can still work incredibly hard, but start implementing tools and systems and not just purely doing it off the sweat of my back, then all of a sudden my results went up. It wasn't that I worked less hard, it's that I continue to work hard. That's why I kind of hate the phrase like, don't work harder, work smarter. It's work harder while you're working smarter. Like keep working hard, particularly in a market like this. So there's, in the book, they break this down to the 4 psychological assets of grit. Question.
Sorry, just to add on to that,
Please.
You can't out hustle someone you can't out heart someone that is out hustling you, like, that's your heart, like your heart is
Love this.
what's gonna out someone.
I love this. And by the way, I think heart is so important. Like, I don't want to lose, like right now, I think connectivity is so important, but heart alone, just wanting it and loving on people is not enough. It's like, you've got to earn the right
Like the
through
really
hustle.
like,
Yeah. No matter what. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. So we're going to look at these 4 areas: interest, practice, hope, and purpose. Okay, time-wise. So number 1, interest. So I want, at the end of this, I'm going to ask you which of these 4 you feel like needs a little extra effort from you from a grit standpoint right now. So let's walk through each one of them and think through it a little bit. So do you still love this game? Do you still love, like, does the idea of being a really phenomenal real estate agent and real estate business still fire you up? Does it make you excited? And I think, I'll tell you, even for me personally, who's I've been doing this for 24 years or so, 25 years. When I look at this, I have to self-evaluate. There are some things I do not like about the real estate game, but the things I do love about it outweigh the things I don't like. Okay. And there's self-examination about that of being like, all right, and obviously if I'm sitting across the client from sitting across the table from my client, I'm obviously going to tell them I love every piece of the game and I'm going to crush it. And we got all the systems in place, but I got to step away from that conversation for to ask myself, do I still have passion around this? Am I still in? If I'm going to give the next decade of my life, which I get one life to live, and there's a lot of other industries and opportunities out there, this one's still the path for me? Does this one still fire me up that can fuel my personal life and still provide value to my clients? The answer for me is yes. The question is it for you? And what I don't want this to be is like, I'm interested because it just happens to be what I'm doing. It makes me sad to see how many people are stuck in their profession because it just happens to be where they are. Okay. So how do we investigate this a little bit? So do you find yourself still reading market reports? Nerd, I'm pointing at you. Market reports, analyzing trends, discussing changes with colleagues, like, do you still like, are you the person to be like, unless you're looking to buy or sell this year, I don't want to talk about real estate with you. Like, I'm done talking about it. So that's what I do all day. Or you feel like, I don't care if you're buying or selling, let's talk. Like, I'm interested in what's going on. Is that still you? Do you still geek out on neighborhoods, pricing, rate changes, all like buyer and seller psychology? Like, why are they different? Why are they thinking different right now? What are their decision-making patterns? Why aren't they, when they don't hire me and they hire somebody else, let me investigate that. Why would they do that? Let me understand, what is that person offering that I'm not? How could I have presented it differently that they chose them over me? Like, is that curiosity still going like in your brain at a very fast pace? And this one, are you still excited to learn? From the 6 personal perspectives, one of my favorite of the 6 personal perspectives is learning for doing sake, not learning for learning's sake. It's like, I love that you're coming to classes. I love that we have so many educational opportunities, but do you walk in with purpose to say, all right, I'm saying no to other things because I'm saying yes to this. And I don't want to just pat myself on the back to say I went and got some education, but am I actually going to do something about it? Like, am I excited to go to this class because there is a nugget for me to get. And it might not be everything, but if there's one nugget for me to apply, I'm winning and I can go put it into practice. So interest, passion is discovery, development, and then a lifetime of deepening. Like, it again, I've been doing this 20 something years. Ken, how many years have you been in the real estate space? Are you still learning things? Every day. Like, are you still committed to learning? We literally, I was on a call, Rusty was on with me this morning for another one of our companies, and there was an agent that reported back to somebody, said, I don't go to classes anymore. I've been doing this so long that I've already learned everything I need to learn. And I'm just like, that was our office. That was our office. I told them I wish that we had to wear our real estate licenses as a badge, because I'd walk up and just like look them in the eye and rip it off. It'd be like a big dramatic thing. But you have to continue to learn. Like, you have to be excited to learn. So interest, number 1. Number 2 is practice. This is interesting that we had a little conversation about this at the start of this meeting. So here's my question. When was the last time you actually revised your listing presentation or listing consultation? Was that? Right now. She's working on it right now. Multitasker. I'm not engaging enough. You're giving me 100% of your attention.
No,
right now.
if you could just like do a magic switch and I didn't need to sleep at night, that would be.
Oh, I have to sleep with that. I don't know.
Something that's legal, right?
Oh,
I know.
no, legal.
Oh, I don't, if we can get the job done, I'm.
But here's the point I'm making is, like, my listing consultation of a year ago, that is not it anymore. It
I feel
doesn't
like I
work.
get annoyed with how often I revise it, but it's always for legitimate reasons, because we do like closeouts at the end of all of our transactions.
Yep.
Okay, what went well? Do we need to amplify that, or what didn't go well, and how do we prevent that from happening? So it's annoying.
That's grit, right? At the end of a transaction, particularly if you're an agent that has other transactions going on, at the end of this transaction, guess what? A lot of your attention is going to the other transactions that are happening. But to slow down and say, what did we learn? What did we do? What could we have done better? What can we celebrate? To me, that's an exercise of grit. Not something that has to happen, but is happening. I love that.
I feel like it does have to happen if you want to stay in business and have reference.
I love that. Practice objection handling. When was the last time you actually role played? We all feel silly role playing, like, this is weird and I don't like to do it. It feels awkward. Like, now is the time to be practiced. Like, it is time to practice objection handling. Like, and with a partner that's not going to just like be like, oh, I'm going to feed you I'm going to loft all the softballs up for you, make it easy. Like, get with somebody you trust that you're like, I can make a fool of myself. Like, I'm a horrible singer. I would never go to karaoke with any of you and get in front of you guys and sing, because it would be absolutely embarrassing for me. But I will sing karaoke at home with my kids, and I will belt it out, and I will sound horrible, but my kids still love me at the end of it. Okay? But the point I'm making is we just got to get over that a little bit. It's time to practice. Okay. When was the last time you deliberately refined your scripts? Like, this bugs me to no end. People are like, I don't use scripts. I don't like scripts. Well, everything you say, whether you like it or not, is a script. It may roll off your tongue because it's what you've always said, but chances are if it's what you've always said, it may have worked at one time. It probably isn't the right script now. So now is the time to practice. So are you still interested? Number two is, are you actually practicing? Are you actually practicing? Freaks people out of my home gym. If you ever come to my house, I'll show it to you. It drives my kids crazy. I've got this little dummy that's a grown sized man in my weightlifting gym. And in between sets, I'm practicing jiu-jitsu moves on this dummy. And he does not fight back. And it's not fun. He weighs like 185 pounds and I'm dragging him around. But I'm practicing moves that I'm hoping are going to work later on that night on these young kids that are way faster than I am, right? But it's practicing. Are you willing to practice? Okay, gritty agents don't just show up, which again, we celebrate showing up, and I don't want to say that's not enough, because showing up is important. But do you show up to actually get better? Do you show up with purpose? Like if I'm going to go to this class, what is my preset objective? If I'm actually going to go to this training or mega camp or family reunion, what is my preset objective? I'm not going to go and just see what happens. I'm going to go with a plan. Like, what am I doing? That's great. Purpose. Please.
Showing up, like you're saying, like showing up just doesn't matter, but it's preparing to show up. So you know how you're gonna show up. What are your thoughts before you show up? What's your documents? Like everything about showing up. Showing up's one thing. That's just the like one check box of, you know, check off of, yeah, you showed up. If you didn't show up mentally, like, are you feeling, there's just so much more to showing up, like, it's just ridiculous.
I love this answer, and I'm grateful you put it up, because it's pre-work, right?
Your attitude, your physicality, your
Yeah.
mental state.
Yeah. On a personal level, something that I've been personally focused on is increasing the power of my prayers. And this is the exact thing that I had been missing, is actually taking time before I pray to say, let me think about, instead of just getting into it and then saying, what am I trying to think about in this moment? Is some element of pre-work. And I know that's a personal example, but I think this is a big piece of saying, like, what element of pre-work needs to happen that's going to help me succeed in this moment. Okay, I love that. Okay. So number three, purpose. So we talked about interest. We talked about practice. Now it's about purpose. I know you love it, but why is it important to you? Why does it matter? Like, what impact are you having outside of the transaction? Are you more driven by, I'm having an impact on the community and the families I serve, and I can imagine these families living for the next decade and raising their kids in this house, and that brings me a lot of joy? Is that part of it? But it's also by me providing this service and helping these people. Yes, there's an income element to it, and that's how I'm going to send my kids to college. Like, why does it matter to you? Like, I know you're passionate about it. I know you're willing to practice, but don't lose sight of why it's important to you beyond the transaction. So, getting clarity on your purpose. The fourth one is hope. This one I think is interesting, particularly right now, particularly where it's not like we just walked into a tough market right now. It's been tough for a minute. And there's been some uncertainty from our clients for a minute. There's been some uncertainty probably for you in your business for a minute. But why are you able to hold on to hope? Are you able to hold on to hope? Or are you showing up because this is what we do? And there's this idea of hope of like, see what happens. I'm hoping. We use the term hope. I think a lot of times, like, I hope things get better, but you're saying in a way of like, I don't see it really happening, versus hope of like, no, I see a pathway to win through this. I see this obstacle as an opportunity to learn. Not, I hope this obstacle goes away, but my hope is, okay, it's a reality of what is right now. I don't have control to change what it is, but I can change how I'm approaching it. That's grit. Okay. Grit is how you're dealing with the obstacle, how you're dealing with the challenge in front of you. Did I see a hand there?
And then can you be a dealer of hope and transfer your hope to other people to give them hope that they need for their future, their relationship, their housing, their economy, whatever's going on.
I think it's a really important point is there are certain things that are contagious, right? And I'm not talking about diseases. But like, you know, that person in your world that you know within a few minutes is just gonna go negative, you're just like, oh,
Nope.
I walk away just feeling like crap whenever I'm with this person. I love them, but it's a challenge for me. Versus the person that you know is gonna pick you up, right? That they're just like, I'm gonna leave a little bit in a better situation and feel better about life just by spending 10 minutes with this person. A lot of this is contagious. So I think hope can be contagious. I see this all the time with real estate agents right now of agents having a conversation with each other of how's the market? Man, it sucks. It's tough right now. Well, yeah, the market is more challenging, but is there opportunity there and how are you approaching it?
Well, hope is what you need to offer the people that you're talking to, like when we were talking first, one of your first slides is, you know, how would you define the market? Yeah, there's all kinds of trouble. You can identify the market, then you flip that and say, that's why you need me.
Yep.
And here's why you need me. Because we're going to keep, even though we have these obstacles, I know the answers as to how we can get you in a home at the best price and in the best circumstances. I closed the deal yesterday for a buyer and his interest rate was 5.5%. I got him $15,000 by his interest rate.
Well, that's awesome.
Done.
So do we believe that there's opportunities in any market?
Yes.
Okay, are there opportunities for everybody in every market?
No.
No. But is it your job to help them identify if there is an opportunity for them?
Yes.
Okay, like, and that a lot of that is being that expert and going back to the things that like they're looking for in a client, a market expert, someone passionate about it, someone studying the market. It's not over promising to say we are for sure going to find you the perfect deal in this market. It's if there is the perfect deal to be found for you that matches your circumstance of the market, I'm the one that's going to help you find it. Because there are opportunities in every market. Let's figure out what's important to you, and I'm going to go to work finding it for you. Like it's changing our conversation in a way that's like, yeah, the market is what it is, and I can be a solution here for you. Complex problem needs a complex solution.
Okay, you offer them hope.
Yep. But I do think, particularly if you lead with hope, they might walk out of that meeting with some hope with it, right? It's contagious. They can take it with them.
Hope, those that are hopeful are less frequent than those that aren't hopeful. You talk to 10 agents, 7 are going to tell you the market sucks. It's impossible. Why even try?
Yep.
And it's the other 3 that are the ones that are getting the work done.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting. I think hope, some of these other ones are a little bit contagious. Like you can get that from other people. I don't think grit is something that you can pass to somebody. Like grit is something that someone has to, that you can inspire them, but that person has to go choose to get grit on their own. Okay. So this is, if you know gritty individuals, you can't draw off their grit and say, I'm gritty by proxy. But what you can do is by being around other gritty people, more than likely you will start to do the things that will help you become more gritty. Okay.
Well, I think just like we ask people their why of why they're moving or whatever, what's driving their move, we have to know our own why.
Yep.
And our whys change over time.
We do. And I think there's, if you come to my business planning clinic, and by the way, it's coming up this fall, there's the business part of it, of understanding your business why, but your business why and your personal why have to line up, right? And if we're going to draw the why out of our client, like, why is this important to you? There's no better way to get somebody to open up than you sharing back and being vulnerable of what your why is, right? Going back to Ken's point, I think an instant connection with people is being vulnerable with them, saying, hey, there are some challenges in the market. Like right now, think about every single consumer is getting some knowledge about the economy and the market. Where are they getting it from? The news, other agents, their hairdresser, Facebook, whatever it is. More than likely, if it's not coming from you, it's got a negative spin on it. So they might be walking in with some element of a negative connotation about the market already, and they're expecting you to bring that same energy. But when you come in with a different energy, it's almost like a pattern disruptive. Like, well, why do you feel differently about the market? And sometimes if you don't know them well, their instant reaction of thinking why, their instant assumption of why you think positively on the market is what? Oh, you just want a commission. You're trying to convince me because you want to sell because you need to pay your bills. So how do you close that gap, right? And that's why some of the stuff we talked about before, like how do you start being gritty and building that confidence, the trustworthiness, where like, oh man, you're the first agent that has hope for what I need to accomplish in the market. And I actually believe you can do it. I think you can do it. And I don't think it's commission driven. Okay. So a lot of this is not us being like, for example, how many times do you hear this lately? You say, hey, how you doing? Hanging in there. How you doing? Well, I'm all right. "Well, how you doing? Yeah, oh, better. Like, do we see those answers a lot? And I think that's important. I want people to express how they're really feeling. But I think if we actually took that person a step back and said, hey, just for a minute, let's make a list of what are all the bad things going on in your life and all the good things going on in your life. Not for everybody, but for most people, the list of good things going on in their life is probably a lot better, a lot longer. Again, that's not true for everybody, and it's important for us to be aware when to ask the question. But everyone's got setbacks. Are you making those the primary focus of your emotions, the driver of your emotions? Or are you saying, yes, I've got to deal with this issue, but man, I'm so grateful for all these things. These will give me the energy to look at these obstacles differently, to see them as opportunities to learn. Let me draw my drive for grit from this list of gratitude and good things to tackle this differently than if I took this as my primary focus. Is that making sense?
I just want to share too on hope, because it was, I don't know, the psychologist I think the other day was talking about the difference between how much that he hates optimism or saying, oh, optimistic. Optimistic is so relative, like, oh, it can be up or down, whatever, versus being optimistic versus being hopeful. Massive difference to be like, oh, I'm optimistic about the market. Well, that's based on chance. Like, but on 1,000 things that can go up or down is nothing, whether it's a relationship, you know, your personal life or business, about being optimistic versus actually being hopeful and knowing why you're hopeful. Also,
I think that's an interesting thought.
the spiritual thing there as well with what's going on in the nation and from the whole stuff with Charlie. So why are you hopeful versus why do you think you're optimistic? Optimism is so relative to anything else.
I think I'm actually gonna put some
No need
thought
for
on this.
optimism.
I think that's interesting.
What are you hopeful about and why are you hopeful? And
I think that's a really interesting thought.
what's the
Thank you.
basis of it?
That's just making me think about the gratitude factor and like the way the markets fluctuate and like how we're bombarded with lots of information related to the positive or the negative of the market. Like when I first started, the market was moving really quick. Like you said, it was easy for talented people, but if you were a new agent, it still wasn't that easy because you still had to learn a lot of the skills related to negotiations, writing a really aggressive offer. And so I was told, oh, it's a hard time to be a real estate agent right now. When I was looking around, I'm like, it actually looks pretty easy for a lot of people. I'm struggling in this way, you know, and then similar thing now where there's other market challenges that everybody's struggling with. Just looking back, like I was grateful for the opportunity to learn in what was considered a challenging market. And I'm grateful now for this current market and the things that it's going to force me to learn. You know what I mean? And just like looking forward to the future with that hope that like, I'm going to gain so much from this challenge now. I have so much to look forward to in the future because of this.
Well, not.
You know, the affirmations in there. Like I think that there's so much power in language of just saying like, I'm grateful for this market. Like, I think a lot of us, if we came and said, hey, if you had the power to change the market where it was a lot easier, would you do it? A lot of people say yes, but we don't have that power. But we do have the power to say, but I can be grateful for the market we're in because I don't have the power to change it. Can I be grateful for it instead of mad at it? And just your language there, I really loved. I heard the affirmations going on that started here. Them coming out of your mouth was what is an afterthought. The way we use the word afterthought is, oh, it's an afterthought. Like I didn't really think about it, but it happened. But almost everything you say is afterthought. It started in here. So kudos to you. Sorry, I saw another hand back here.
Well, I was just gonna say, you said that at the beginning, when you said when things are easy, you don't build grit. And so that's like, you gotta be grateful for the market, because it's building grit.
But there's part of it where you like, where's your opportunity for grit if it's always easy? Like,
Right.
Love it. So here's the question. Of the four, which one do you feel like needs some extra effort from you right now? Any thoughts? It's your interest, your practice, your hope, or your purpose. No thoughts? Everyone's internal. Where I lost you.
practice, that's my,
Practice?
yeah.
I think that's probably true for a lot of us. Was that a stretch or a? That's bold. Stretch
I was gonna say purpose, like reading through the list. If I'm more purposeful with my time and have conversations, all these things. Like I don't know all the things and I'm not the best at practicing. And I do believe I can grow, but if I have the purpose to connect with people, make time for that, do that, all those other things follow.
I believe that, and we're all busy, like the longer you've been an agent, the harder it is to say, oh yes, I can commit to that time every single week at this. And to say, but if I need to practice, if I can't do it, then how am I going to fill that gap? The gritty person will find a solution to still find a way to do it, right? And we have some, like, there's nothing better than in person, working through scripts and practicing with other people that you trust that are doing the same thing. Because part of winning, by the way, is being around other gritty individuals. Like you look in this room, if other people want to exercise grit, this is a great community to do it with. But there are other options, like you could pull up ChatGPT and say, hey, I want you to be a potential seller in the state of Utah. I want these to be your primary concerns. Will you role play with me? And you can have a voice-to-voice conversation and role play, have them pick you apart. I think there's tools like that you can use. Again, it's not going to be as good as another real estate professional working on it. There are ways to do it.
Well, to add on to the purpose conversation is what's the intention, like when you're finding out purpose, what's the intention behind the activity you're doing? Are you doing, like you said, are you doing it for doing sake or doing it? You know, why are you doing that activity? Why are you doing whatever you're doing? What's the intention behind that? Melanie and I had this conversation last week of like having a goal behind every activity. So if you're holding an open house, what's the goal?
Yep.
Are you just going to hold an open house? Or are you going to like get this many contacts or this many door knocks? What's the intention? Because that also helps with that purpose as well, like.
I love this. I encourage every one of you to choose what your language is around this, whether it's what's your intention. Like one I use with my team is what's our preset objective. Like what for this open house, for this client appreciation event, what is my preset objective? The trunk or treat. It's not, you shouldn't just be like, I guess I'll do it and see what happens. What's your preset objective? I'm gonna have 50 of my clients there. I'm gonna have 50 conversations. I'm gonna have set 3 appointments from this. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if you have a preset objective, the likelihood of it happening is a lot higher. So whether you're saying, get it in your language of what's my intention, what's my preset objective, whatever it is, of every single thing you do. Like I had an opportunity to spend a couple of days with my kids at Disney World last week. I had a preset objective every single day of not what rides I'm going on, but how am I going to get some one-on-one time with each one of my kids, and how am I going to talk about what's important to them right now. Every single day was a preset objective. Okay, like yesterday I had a good conversation with Lucy about this. I didn't get as much time with Meg. So how do I set a preset objective for Meg tomorrow? Hey, I know her favorite treat is X. Okay, between rides, I'm gonna say, hey, me and Meg will be back. We're gonna go grab a Mickey ear, right? If I didn't think about that beforehand, there's no preset objective to go make it happen. Okay, so be thinking through things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we tell my kids that.
Yeah, I will, if you'll do the same.
I'm hoping that sometime in their 20s or 30s, they're gonna come back.
It will.
Actually, they're pretty
It's gonna
good.
be like 30.
Mikkel.
Think about the purpose and kind of just personal goals. I feel like I've not pushed myself as much too, and I've kind of let bigger goals that maybe I had a couple of years ago kind of shrink a little bit.
Yeah.
And think, okay, how can I think about my network when I'm trying to just figure out how to have a successful year?
Yeah.
So I think the purpose thing kind of where I can improve a little bit.
Yeah.
We're never going to exceed that goal if we don't have
Yeah.
a bigger vision.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I encourage you, pretty because I've had an opportunity to watch a lot of your career from inception to like crushing it, doing great. Like it's been really fun to see what you've done. One thing I want to give you and everyone in here permission to do, it's okay. Like we talk a lot about think big. In fact, it says it back here, think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. And I want you all to have big lives, but it's okay for your definition of big to be different than somebody else's. And I also want to give you permission that your definition of big, like for example, 25-year-old or 30-year-old Marcus's definition of a big life is different than 45-year-old Marcus's definition of a big life. And you might be surprised, it's my new definition of think bigger, what a big life is actually much smaller than what 30-year-old Marcus aspired for. is that it was a lot more about things, because I didn't have the experiences, the relationships, the obligations, the responsibilities that life gave me over time. So yes, we have to have purpose and like be driven and gritty and push for things. I think part of life is aspiring for more, but give yourself permission to redefine that. But don't redefine it because of a social media thread of being like, oh, this person has a plane, so I want a plane. Or this person's doing this, so I want this. Really get to know yourself and spend the time to learn. I'm going to touch on this real quickly because I'm out of time. But then this is the equation I wanted to tell you about. There's two equations. Notice they both have effort in it. I want you to think through effort from the form of grit, not just effort. If you want to increase skills, we talk a lot about this being a skill-based market, but that skill is not just purely your talent doesn't equal a skill. It's whatever your talent level is in that thing times some element of grit is going to give you the skill. For example, if my scripts are not working today as well as they did before, my natural ability on that script is low, which means I've got to increase my grit and effort to gain the skill. If I'm already good at it and I'm already crushing it, I don't really need to give a lot of grit to it to maintain the skill I need for the market right now. I need to pick some other skill in my life that needs that grit. Your grit bank account is you're drawing on it every time you apply it to an effort, which means anytime, just like your normal bank account, if you're spending money out of your bank account for you to pay tomorrow's bills, what do you got to do? Replenish the bank account, okay? Which we're going to talk about how to do that in a second. But then once you are identifying the skill, you've got a goal of what you're trying to achieve. It's now using that skill, but you have to apply the skill through an effort. It does you no good to be the best. Like you can't come in here and win the script off and be like, I'm the best at script off of the office, if you're not going to actually go use the scripts with your clients and create business, okay? It is important to do that, but then you have to go apply it. So I like both these equations from that perspective. And then the only last thing I was going to say is, to me, I saw a post the other day of someone saying that the cheat code nobody's talking about is just be reliable. But be reliable to your clients, but be reliable to you first. Like, what are your preset objectives? What is your success list? If you say you're going to do these things before the end of the day, be reliable to yourself to get them done. And then I'm going to challenge you with this to end our conversation. Is there's this term called the Misogi or Misagi. Has anyone ever heard this term? Okay, a couple of you. It's some of the big influencers are talking about it right now. But it's this idea of it's originated Shinto purification ritual, but a lot of people say it's doing something so hard, so extreme that it pushes your physical, emotional, and mental limits. Did we do one of these last year? Justin and I went and did a 50-miler, and it was pushed us to our limits, like to our breaking points. I was not nearly prepared enough to do it, but on purpose because I wanted to climb into a new portion of my brain. Now, I'm not telling you to go do 50 miles, but what I am asking you to do is what would be more a difficult thing you can do in your real estate business or in your personal life. And every time I do one of these, what happens is I rediscover a little piece of my brain that wasn't present to me yesterday. Every time I push myself to do something that I didn't want to do or was like, can I accomplish this? Can I really make this happen? And it happens, or a good effort, or I got farther than I anticipated. All of a sudden, when I show up to work the next day and say, all right, I need to make 10 business calls today, I'm like, that's easy. If I can do that, like this is nothing. So I want you to think through Misagi in your life. It can be a business related one of like, I'm going to post 50 reels over the next 50 days. Or I'm going to hold an open house in a week for the next 2 months. I'm going to have 5 conversations a day with my database for the next 2 weeks. I don't care what it is, but to choose something that is like a little bit uncomfortable, like, ooh, that sounds like a pain in the butt, particularly because I'm so busy. If it makes you a little sick to your stomach of like, do I have time to do this or can I do this? You're on the right track. But if you do it, what I will tell you is everything, not just that task, everything will be a little bit easier on the other side of it. But when you do that, you're going to fill your bank account and it's going to diminish. And choose these regularly. Like you got to start noticing, just like you notice when your bank account's low, you'll start noticing when your grit bank account has been exhausted, you need to pick something else to start adding grit back to your world. Okay. Was today helpful?
Yes. Yes.
Who's committed to go building a little bit more grit?
Yes.
Almost every hand up. I appreciate it. Okay. We have a sponsor?
We do.
Oh, here it is.
Shane Fitzpatrick with Shane Structures. Justin, I believe this is a friend of yours,
Yes.
right? Is Shane here? Okay, perfect. Justin, tell us your favorite thing that Shane's Structures does for you while we're waiting for him to come into the room. Just putting you on the spot there, bud.
Dave, like, what's going on?
It started out when I saved your life.
Yeah, did you know doing the Heimlich maneuver to a taller person
It's BB hard.
is really hard? I think, so he's newer in the handyman space. I started business last year and, just hearing his story of growing and, he's always going 100 miles an hour, like right now. He's doing a bunch of things, but yeah, just hearing him try and grow his business. Probably,
Isn't it fun to watch people like?
yeah.
Hey, great. Yeah, let's hear
Before this
it.
meeting, I actually met him over at a client's house,
Nice.
and he got us on the schedule when obviously a lot of people are busy right now. And just being able to knock out a deck and some baseboards and some repair stuff, we were able to get done before we're putting the house on the market, so it doesn't become an issue. We did a good job. Reliable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got some gifts for you guys. Sorry, I was trying to get it ready. And Cafe Rio. Heard you guys didn't like subs, so. And, yeah. Got some handouts too.
I can help with the handout.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much. Didn't try to pass them out before I didn't know.
make sure I can come down.
Cool. Alrighty. So I'm Shane Fitzpatrick. I own Shane Structures. Do you have a clicker? Oh, right there. There we go. So I started my company last year. Shane Structures based out of Ogden. We service everywhere from up to Logan down to Provo, from Park City to Tooele. This is my wife. Sorry, it's real blurry. It's not on my screen, but that's our two dogs. We don't have any kids yet. We got married last October 11th. Maverick and Willow. They're our world right now. Was that? Yeah, she's on crop too. All now. That's me. So I started in the pipe fitters trades at 18. Did not like it. That's what my dad did. He's a welder. Went into the cell phone tower industry, did that for about 8 years. I was a project manager. I was running crews. I was doing all that at like 23, 24. So I really learned a lot of the back end stuff doing that. Went to electrical work and doing my own remodels and custom shed builds down in Arizona. I did that for about 3 to 4 years, and I've been working with my dad since I could remember. So that's how I got all my experience. I started my company last year with just me, and I ended up hiring my first person, Kyle, in April. So I started it last November, hired in April. My goal was $20,000 because I was making about $36,000 doing gutters and home exterior stuff too. So I didn't really know, I was just working on the weekends, and we've done $300,000 in revenue since January of this year. So, yeah, and I take really good pride in that. We have over 100, almost 100 5-star Google reviews. Really take pride in that. These are my core values. I really take pride in the honesty. I'm very transparent. If something goes wrong, I will talk to you guys. I'll let you know. Things happen in this industry. I've seen it all. Integrity. I do the best thing that I can every day. Try to be 1% better. I respect everyone's time and everyone's opinion. I'm always open to learn and take criticism. I'm very, very grateful for my life, and I try to get back where I can. I keep God first and my family second, and then try to, serve the community as best I can. So.
Totally in alignment with KW, God, family, then business.
Oh, there we go. Pretty line, This was a real estate agent that we helped.
Until you put Brookshire on.
Well, so this is a wife of someone in my, he's a real estate agent for Berkshire Health. Really sorry, but
That makes sense.
same kind of thing with Raquel. She reached out. They needed something quick, whole laundry list of stuff. We got it done within 2 days for them, and he gave us 5 stars at the very end. So why change structures? Why a handyman that, fat, not gonna show up, do crappy work, I'm really trying to reframe the handyman and professional side of it and make it more appealing and be your one-stop shop. So I want to take that, the part of your guys' job, the contracting part out of it. I want to be able to keep your guys' name strong. I want to be that second part and make it easier for you guys. Right here is my business card. If you guys could just scan it, put it in your phone. Shane, handyman, deck guy. We are certified pros through all the decking suppliers. I don't know if you guys deal with decks too much like Mattel, but all of our work is labor warranty through them. And I can go out, I have everything, I have samples of everything. And we can do a full deck renovation in, up to 2 weeks, depending on how big it is. So, yeah, thank you for adding that. And thank you for your time. I'm gonna play a video and take questions. If anybody has questions, it's just a video of all the work and remodels we've done, since then. So, and this right here, the one I started out with, this was PMI Home Team. We do a lot of work through them. They're a property management team. And they had a move out that was absolutely terrible. And we did a whole remodel on it. It took us a couple of weeks. So the guy actually did not lose out on any rent. So that was another huge thing too. So. There we go. So yeah, as you guys watch, anybody have any questions at all?
You do inspect, like, home inspections?
Yeah, we do home inspections as well. I can write you a full report. I'm a licensed and insured contractor. And if you guys ever need anything, you're out on a job site, let me know. Just give me a call. I can do a lot over the phone with pictures too. I'll just do that for free. So, yeah. We do demo as well. If you guys ever need a house cleared out, we can come out with our dump trailer, get it, take it out and go dump it for you guys. This was an old shed that was a pain. We went in and finished. We work with a lot of restoration companies too. So we'll go in and do the finished work like painting, base. We installed some lights at this house, get all their doors over. So we do a lot of finished work as well. Yeah. Any other questions?
So licensed sorry.
Yeah.
You raised your hand, Dalton. I just shouted.
So you're licensed what, GC?
Yeah, PC.
Okay. Do you have any license like plumbing, electrical people in the team?
Not yet.
Okay.
And I have companies that I work with,
Yep,
so I can
of course.
contract them out.
Yep.
But most of the electrical stuff I know how to do, I'm just not licensed, but
Fine.
like we could do smaller things.
That's fine.
We could do like installing the lights and stuff, but actually running power and shutting off, Rocky Mountain Power.
Nothing wrong with
That's in the
that.
future, guys.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have the ability to get paid at closing with the deposit?
So we do financing. I have a financing option available through Advance US Bank, and I have a credit card processing company that we use too. So we could definitely do it, something like that. I also do net 30s with my restoration companies, so something I could help you guys out with. Being just me, I have the ability to help you guys out. In that way.
Okay, very cool.
Yep. This was some cabinetry we did. We did anywhere in northern Utah. We're actually doing a remodel in Evanston over the winter. So yeah, depending if the job is right.
It's gonna be a long cold winter.
Oh yeah.
You've been to Evanston in the winter?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have a.
If the job is right, there'd be no amount of money
Yeah.
to make that job right.
Yeah, I have a sister-in-law.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the cafe real.
Thanks. Jane, are you gonna hang out for a minute?
Yeah.
and Have
Oh, yeah.
specific questions? Hey,
100%.
he'll hang out for some lunch. If you guys have questions, let him know. And Justin, thanks again for introducing us.
Well,
Okay.